Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, and I didn't get to do my normal Wednesday video because I have not had the house to myself in days. And boy, have I missed that. It just totally disrupts my routine when people are home. I can't like settle in and do what I want to do or what I think I need to do or any of that good stuff. My shirt's pulling funny. Okay, so I have a few things to share with you today. And not all of them are plushie related. I did my mystery pattern test, which ended up getting released early, and the cat got out of the bag, so to speak. So it's not so much a surprise anymore, but it's still cute and I still want to share it with you. I ordered myself a UV resin kit so I can make pretty eyes like everybody else has. And I haven't made the eyes yet, but I have been playing with the stuff that came in because it was a whole kit. You got a lot of things with it. And then I've been kind of dealing with a little Plushie Burnout. As cute as they are and as fun as they are to make, after a year of making pretty much nothing but plushies, I need to do something a little different. So let's start with the resin kit. It cost on Amazon $26.99, but there's a $3 coupon. At least there was at the time when I bought mine. And that was middle of last week. So the kit comes with your UV resin and some gold and silver foils, glitter. Hi, Toby. Shell paper, I think they call this. You get a few colors of the dyes, red, green, and blue. And of course, if you know how to mix colors, you would need yellow. But you could like make purple with your red and blue and mud. There's a little tiny sampling of, these are sequins. I haven't messed with those yet. So you get little cups to mix your stuff in. You get a few, Toby's tail. You get a few, you cannot get in that box. I'm using it. You get a few stir sticks, some cords. You get a small assortment of pendant frames. There's a few colors of mica powders. You get a few packages of very cheap gloves. Get the better kind. And some tassels. And then you get this tape, which is used for those pendant frames. You get a silicone mold. You get some keychain hardware. And I believe, I don't see it here, I didn't pull it out. There was like, if you wanted to make earrings, there were hooks and jump rings, but it gave you 5. Not 5 pairs, 5. So, but those are cheap to pick up if you wanted to get into jewelry. So I haven't tried the eyes yet. Because, oh, you also get the UV light. And I didn't bring the cord out here, but it opens up, you put your stuff on it, place this over top of it. It's got the little button here and it goes 60 seconds, 90 seconds, 150 seconds. So, and the stuff dries so fast under here. But I didn't do the eyes yet because I don't have a plushie in mind yet. I had already finished what I had been working on. Well, that didn't already have the eyes in it because I do still have 2 projects that I haven't completed. One is a dragon, a Red Mills dragon, and the other is, I'm not telling because I needed the toffee to finish it, and I got that from Sue on Saturday. And I just haven't gotten back to it because I had that other pattern test to complete. And then I kind of lost my Plushie Crochet. But what I've been doing, testing this stuff out, trying to figure out how it works, is I made myself a pair of earrings. And I think I did okay for my first attempt. Well, this was actually my first attempt. And I messed up the top. Like, where's the other one? I don't see the other one. You can see where the resin didn't go all the way to the edge. So then I tried, Jenna had some, what do you call it? Nail art. So I tried using that because they're nice and small and they would fit in the little things. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but that is little kiwis inside of these. And it's just the rectangular shape. And it would still need hardware put on it, but for earrings. And there's like no weight to them, so they wouldn't be heavy at all. And she had some little watermelon pieces, and I put them in here. Yeah, I don't know how well that's showing up, if you can see it or not with the light. And return it around. There we go, that's a little better. Focus. So I did those, and then I was playing with the little little frames. Now these I thought were kind of heavy for earrings, but for keychains or a necklace. But for earrings, to me, they were a little heavy. So I did that with the intention of doing earrings, but I turned them into keychains. And I mean, it still needs a little something. It's kind of plain, like maybe beads or something hanging off of it. And same with this. This was a heart shape. And so you get, Jenna had a little bit of dried flowers. And that was funny because I didn't have any dried flowers. And because I did a search on how to use this resin, all kinds of stuff came up on my feed. And boy, can you go down a rabbit hole with that. So amongst the stuff that was coming up, you know, all kinds of different things to do with the resin, but the dried flowers, like how to dry flowers. And there was 3 ways that it showed to dry flowers. One was in the microwave, one was with an iron, and the other was, of course, pressing them between paper and a book. And that, of course, takes the most time. So I walked around the yard. John hadn't mowed it because he bent his lawnmower blade, and the hardware store that is local to us didn't have any, so they had to order it. Well, then they got the wrong size blade in, then they had to order again. So the lawn was getting a little overgrown, and we were getting some pretty little flower weeds. So I walked around the yard and picked some small flowers, tried to anyways, and tried the whole microwave thing. And yeah, it just kind of burnt them. Didn't do very good with that. So Jenna's like, I have dried flowers. So she gave me a few dried flowers. So I played with that, and I feel, for the most part, comfortable with using the resin now. And I'm going to try, whenever I make another plushie, that special plushie that needs special eyes. I'm gonna try and make some eyes for it. So I got those, and let's look at my plushie. So when I was at my market last Saturday, Sue came over and she had picked me up some of the Premier's Just Chenille from the Dollar Tree. And she brought it over to me. She was so nice. So that's what I decided to use to make this little project. And it came out really tiny. So this is the baby version of Shannon's Snuggle Beans Crochet, her unicorn. This is so quick. I mean, it's really easy. Now, it would come out, oh, probably this much taller if you use like Parfait Chunky. And even bigger, of course, with Burnout. But this is just so cute. So I used the Just Chenille in the white and whatever color they called their purple. And then used the little bunny for the mane and the tail, which it was like just the right size, right thickness for this, but it turned out cute. Now, had I not already started this, I probably would have made some of those pretty eyes for this, because this is something that could use the eyes. But I used what I had, and they were blue. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to get the resin kit, because you order them, you get these pretty little color discs, whether they're glitter or holographic or whatever, but it seems like there's never the right color. So staying with the purple and white theme, I think that she should have had purple glitter eyes. But I didn't have the right things to do it with. And there is a purple glitter in the glitter bag, not necessarily the right color purple, but I mean, it's a starter kit, so they gave you a bunch of samples of stuff. If you were into it, you'd have to invest and get more things. So Shannon's pattern is now available. Like I said, it was released early, and it's just, I think, is adorable. So, I mean, just for size, like, I mean, I have big hands, but not that big. I think my soda can for a Diet Coke is just about the same size as from the bottom of the butt to the top of the head. Not counting the ears or the horn, but that was the size it came out to with the Just Chenille. I would definitely do this one again. It's in the Parfait Chunky. I think it is a very reasonable, sellable size if you have a market for unicorns, which what little girl doesn't like a unicorn? So I did that. But like I said, I think I've lost my plushie crojo. I'm having a hard time getting motivated. My hands have been very sore. But I still wanted to crochet. I just didn't know what I wanted to crochet. And then I'm sitting there, I got a message on Instagram. Someone telling me that this very popular crocheter had featured one of my tutorials from last year. Now, before I started doing the plushies, I used to like to do all kinds of different crocheting. Mosaic, Graphgans, baby blankets, filet crochet, granny squares. I love granny squares. You know, all that kind of stuff. And I still like it. I just have been really busy with plushies. But so this popular crocheter did a reel on Instagram. Well, then when I was on YouTube, Yeah, on the top it has a little bell if you've got a comment or, you know, the notification thing. So I click on my notifications and it says that Pashioknit Kelsie mentioned me. And I was like, really? So I click on it and it was a little short, you know, one of the little short videos. And she was making my bucket hat from over a year ago. And I was like, well, how cool is that? Well, because of that short, all of a sudden, that video started getting a lot of attention. And then I'm looking in the comments because I was getting a lot of comments, and I try very, very hard to reply to every comment. Sometimes I just don't know what to say. But I do read them all. And I really do try to answer any questions and reply to all the comments. And I am behind because I've been getting a ton lately. And sometimes you just have to take a break. You can answer so many and then you got to take a break. And then it builds up again and you just try to go through the line and get to everybody. So if I haven't replied to you, I'm getting there. But anyways, in the comments I see, is anybody here from Pashioknit Kelsie's yellow video? I'm like, what? So I go over to check out her channel. Now I've seen her before. I wasn't a subscriber, but I've seen her, especially the shorts come up and she makes those little peekaboo type halter tops. And, you know, she's on my radar now. So I go over and I check out this yellow video because I'm like, what are they talking about? I mean, I knew about the short and someone had told me about the Instagram reel. So I go over and I'm watching her yellow video, and what she's doing is she's like taking a day, and this girl, she crochets very fast. She's taking a day and she's making, everything that she makes is going to be out of whatever that color is. And so she picked yellow. So she did one of her tops and she, you know, some scrunchies, and she's like, I want to make a bucket hat, but I want to use a 5mm hook. So she does a YouTube search and my bucket hat comes up towards the top. It's a granny stitch bucket hat. And so she clicks on it. And one of the first things that I tell you is the supplies that you're going to need. And so I say, you're going to need a 5mm hook. So right there, that's why she's going to try it, because I was using the same hook size that she wanted to use. So she made 2 of my bucket hats in her yellow video. And then, so she made a comment about how she sells everything that she makes. And in her description, she has links to her website, her Etsy, where she sells patterns, and then she sells merch and, you know, all the usual hubbub that you see in the descriptions. So she did the 2 bucket hats. Well, then she was doing these bandanas. And I was like, oh, those are cute. So she said she had a tutorial on her channel. So I went over and watched her tutorial because, like I said, I kind of lost my plushie mojo, Crojo mojo. So she does these cute little bandanas. And so I went over and checked out her little tutorial. It's super easy. If you can make a shawl, you can make a bandana. So I made one out of green. It's a bright green. I can't remember the exact color name, but it is Hobby Lobby's. I love this cotton. I mean, I imagine you could use acrylic, but I'm just so used to the Florida and the heat and the humidity, and acrylic, just thinking about it makes me itchy and sweaty, not in the summertime. So green. And I am not a variegated yarn fan. But if you don't like changing colors and having all those ends to work in, variegated can be nice. So then I did this one. And this one. And this one. These are really fast. So what am I going to do with them, you say? Well, I always keep saying how I think I need something at the market that appeals to different people. Older, you know, adult type items. Not everybody wants to buy a plushie. So I was thinking these for market, and they're very quick, and you could probably get 2.5 out of a skein of the I Love This Cotton from Hobby Lobby. They're just easy to do. And then she had another one, which again, if you can make a shawl, if you know how to crochet a triangle, you can do a bandana. But hers was for the granny one. And this one, I changed colors every row. I don't mind doing the granny stitch because I do like granny squares. But the changing of the colors and having to deal with all those ends, this one was not fun. But it was bordered with a shell stitch. She also has a crochet pattern, or excuse me, she also has the tutorial. I can talk. She also has the tutorial for that on her channel. So for both of those type of bandanas. Well, I had, before I even knew that she did this with my bucket hat video, BagOday Crochet, I'm sure everybody knows who she is, has like a bazillion tutorials on YouTube for different crochet items. But she just recently did a bucket hat, and she did a granny stitch, but she did the brim in a different way from how I did the one in my video. So I was like, I like how that looks on her, so I want to check it out. So I went over and did her tutorial with her. And hers is different. She does a lot of rows of single crochet. Now, I am not a hat person, so do not laugh at me. I think with my hair color these days that, like, this isn't the right color for me, but it's a pretty quick pattern. Mine is faster because you don't have all the single crochet rows. But pretty much it's kind of the same. She did one thing that I wasn't fond of when she's up and doing the crown of the hat and she's starting the curve part. She has you do 5 clusters and then you skip a space. So you have these skipped spots. I believe there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 of them to bring you back down to where you need to be for a stitch count. And I don't know, I can see it. So I felt like it looks like I missed something, but I didn't, and it does fit well. I would probably do another round of the granny clusters before, maybe 2, before starting the brim. But this one I had a partial skein of the variegated. And of course, you know, on variegated, you don't get as much yarn as you do on a solid color. But I got all the way down to the last couple of rounds, and then I had to switch over to white to finish it off. But it doesn't look bad with that on it because there's so much white in the color. But bucket hats might be an idea, especially this time of year, for market. They're not, at least in my opinion, I don't think they are as common as, you know, regular crochet beanie type hat. And then it's too darn hot for beanies right now. So the next thing I started, and I'm still working on it. I just started it, but I have to go slow with this because this is the sugar and cream, I think. And, you know, it's not as soft as I love this cotton. That stuff is like nice to work with. After working with all the plushie yarn, this stuff is like sandpaper to work with. But I've started a market bag, which I think would be another thing that could be offered to grown-ups. But I've got 3 rows of the mesh started, and I think I have to do a total of 30. I'd have to go back and check. And then there's more work. Then you finish off with this, and then you got your handles and all that. So I'm doing the smaller bag, so maybe it's not 30 rows because I only had 1 skein of this and I don't know how far it's going to go, if it's going to be enough to do handles and everything. So we just go from there. But I am so curious. When you want to crochet, but you're like bored with your current things that you've been making, what do you switch to? What do you crochet? I mean, you could do the little dishcloths. You could do, you know, I'm trying to think small items that would be quick, that, you know, you could take to market if you're a market person, or that would be quick and easy that you could give as a gift, or if you sell your stuff online, you know. I don't think I would go with clothes because there are just too many different sizes. And if you happen to be a busty type person like myself, nothing seems to look good on you. So, and crochet is pretty thick. So that one's a tough one. You know, sweater weather's different this time of year. That one's a little tough. My hair is just sliding right out of my ponytail holder, but it's so warm. I just, that's what I've been doing. I'm supposed to be cleaning my house, but there have been people here, and I can't do that when there's people here because they're in the way, or they try to help, but they're not really helpful, or they just watch you work. I remember that when I was a kid. My mother would be cleaning and I'd watch my brother and one of my sisters just kind of sitting there watching her do this. Didn't even get up to help, like wouldn't even move their feet if she was sweeping or vacuuming. I don't know. Ugh. She, not her, my siblings and her house is what made me dislike horizontal surfaces, like coffee tables, regular tables, any kind of horizontal surface, because they just become a dumping ground and it drives me crazy. And I am guilty myself of filling it up because it is convenient. And, oh my goodness, you just, I don't know, just ends up being a dumping ground. But anywho, what do you crochet that is small, cute, quick, and easy that you would consider resellable? Doesn't have to be something that sells for hundreds of dollars. It could be, you know, a $10 item. It could be a $15 item. But what do you switch up to when you've lost your plushie crojo? I know one of my subscribers, Bonnie, just commented that she hasn't crocheted anything since she did my dragon test. And she needs something to help her get back her crojo. And I know exactly how she is feeling because as cute as they are, I'm a little bit over plushies right now. I want to finish the 2 that I have started, and I want to do other things that are small projects that are easy to do and fun to make. That is a little more mindless, not so much all the counting and having to pay attention. So, but I don't want to do a big thing like a blanket. No. Too hot for a blanket. And I have lots of crocheted blankets here. And I don't want them all to just end up at the thrift store. So, what do? All right, I am going to close here and pick up my mess and kick that thermostat down a couple degrees because I'm going to be up and moving around and trying to straighten out some of this mess while I have nobody home. We'll see if it happens. I'll see you later.